These are the 7 most common ways your clients are likely to be breached. About 1 million times a week, passwords are compromised. Most of these attacks are automated now. So what would happen is when a company has a corporate data breach, the cyber criminals will grab that data from the data breach. They're also regularly collecting unprotected information online. They throw them into very sophisticated algorithms, and they hit thousands of accounts at once. And right now, it's gotten so ridiculously easy for the bad guys. So for the first time, at the end of 2023, they used ChatGPT in one of their simulations. And what they found was that they now can correctly guess any 8-digit alphanumeric password, uppercase, lowercase, symbols, numbers, etc., less than 1 second. So if you're using an 8-digit password, they're not even going to downshift to get to that. They're just going to blow right by it. The good news is if you use lengthy, sophisticated ones, it takes extraordinary amounts of time for them to correctly guess them. We recommend 20 to 25-digit ones. Second way your clients are most likely to get breached is they don't realize when they buy a device from the store, like say this cell phone, it's automatically set up with its default settings to record all the credentials for every account that you access with the account in about 5 places. And the reason it's set up that way is these companies make an enormous amount of money collecting and selling their clients' information, both the device providers and the software providers. So in about 5 places, I can get your password and user ID if I can get in the device. Now, in order to turn this off, as well as turn on the necessary other security settings, there's about 60 settings on an Apple device that you have to engage in, about 120 on a Windows. But if you do not, all a bad guy has to do is get in the device and all your accounts that you've accessed with it are compromised. The third most common way that your clients are likely to get breached is through their smart home technology. Cyber criminals intentionally target homes with this because very few people set up their network securely. As I'm sure undoubtedly everybody on this call realizes, if you get into a network, you can basically see what everyone else is doing unless people are encrypting their online traffic. And so as a consequence, what the cyber criminals will do is they'll pick a single device on the network, get in, and then sit and wait. The fourth most common way people get breached are computer viruses. I'm sure everyone on this call realizes that there's a daily arms race between the good guys and the bad guys, people writing the malware and the people writing the antivirus. Not too long ago, there was this idea that you wouldn't have a problem in terms of getting breached because you'd have an authenticator app, and that app would have a random number generator for your financial accounts. And so since you're the only person who had that, even if they guessed the password, they couldn't get around this level of protection. The fifth most common way your clients are likely to get breached is they will effectively give away their passwords by using public Wi-Fi without encrypting their online traffic. As we mentioned before, if you're on a network, everybody else can see what you're doing. If you're at a Starbucks or a hotel, you're using the free Wi-Fi. The way clients need to protect themselves is they need to get software that encrypts their online traffic, which is called a virtual private network or a VPN. The sixth most common way that people get breached is that they're foolish enough ever to plug their device into a public charging station without using the proper protection. It's almost like using a shared needle. It's not a question of whether you're going to get a virus. It's a question of when, if you use one of these things. And if you're plugging in and you're not protecting it, you're creating enormous risks of being breached. The seventh most common way people are getting breached, and this is the one we just added recently, is what are called phishing attacks. What they're doing is they will pose either as a bank, a custodian, or as the advisor, and they will spoof your caller ID. And they'll know a lot about the client, they'll know a lot about the firm. And what winds up happening is they can loot the account and the client had no idea. And they really thought it was someone from your organization or from the custodian or from the bank helping them. And it's hard to overstate how slick these guys are. And you guys are ideal targets for this.